Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Social Science online teaching classes from Vishwamanava Residential High School. I am Mahabubi, your social science teacher. Dear students, in today's class, let us study about the two most important chapters. One is Indian land resources, and second one is the first war of independence. Dear students, in the geography part, first, the seventh chapter, Indian land resources. In this lesson, we have already learnt in the previous classes or previous videos the concept of Indian land resources, land use pattern of India, agriculture in India and its importance, and types of agriculture in India, crop seasons and cropping pattern and major crops of India, and role of horticulture and floriculture. These points we have already learnt in the previous video. Now, in today's, let us discuss the most important question answers for 1 marks, 2 marks and 3 marks. Let us discuss one by one. Okay? Start. The first main, answer the following questions in one sentence each. The first question in this lesson, that is, which is the land that not used for cultivation? Answer, fallow land. Then second question, what do you mean by mixed farming? Answer, agriculture involving the cultivation of crops and livestock rearing is called mixed farming. Then third question, what is zaid farming? Answer, the crops are growing in between Kharif and the Rabi crops are known as zaid farming. Then fourth question, which is the highest rice growing state in India? Answer, West Bengal. Then fifth question, what is land use? Answer, land use means the distribution of land for different uses such as forestry, cultivation, etc. It is called as a land use. Then sixth question, what is plantation farming? Give an example. Answer, plantation farming means the cultivation of single crop on large states for the market. This is called plantation farming. For example, tea, coffee, rubber, coconut, etc. Then seventh question, what is agriculture? Answer, agriculture means tilling of the soil for raising food crops and raw materials needed by human beings is called as agriculture. Then eighth question, what are the types of agriculture? Answer, subsistence farming, intensive farming, commercial farming, mixed farming, plantation farming, dry farming, humid farming and irrigation farming. So these are the types of agriculture. Then ninth question, what is Kharif crop season? Answer, the crops are growing during the rainy season. It is called as a Kharif crop season. Then 10th question, what is Rabi crop season? Answer, the sowing takes place in the October-November when the northeast monsoon begins and are harvested in February-March. This is known as Rabi crop season. Then 11th question, what is the total forest area in India? Answer, 22.8% area of the total area. Then 12th question, what is sedentary farming? Answer, very important, sedentary farming is the cultivation of land at a fixed location instead of shifting from one place to another place. So that we called as sedentary farming. Then 13th question, what is shifting farming? Answer, shifting farming means It is a type of agriculture. It is a type of agriculture in which a path of forest is cleared and burned to be cultivated for years until the fertility of the soil is reduced. So that is called as a shifting farming. Then 14th question, what is commercial farming? Answer, a system of farming in which crops are growing for the market is called as a commercial farming. Then 15th question, very important, which is the main Rabi crop of India? Answer, wheat. Wheat is the main Rabi crop of India. Then 16th question, which is the main Kharif crop of India? Answer, rice. Rice is the main Kharif crop of India. Then 17th question, which is the largest area under rice in the world? Very, very important. Which is the largest area under rice in the world? Answer, India. India is the largest area under rice in the world. Then 18th question, which crop needs standing water and level land? Answer, rice. Then 19th question, which is mainly growing states of wheat in India? Answer, Punjab, Rajasthan, Gujarat and Maharashtra. So these are the states of wheat in India. Then 20th question, which is the largest wheat growing state in India? Answer, Uttar Pradesh. Then 21 question, which is the main commercial crop of India? Very important. Which is the main commercial crop of India? Answer, sugarcane. Sugarcane is the main commercial crop of India. Then next question, which country has the largest cotton field in the world? Answer, India. India is the largest cotton field in the world. Then next question, which is the largest producer of tea in the world? Answer, India. Then last question, what is floriculture? Answer, the cultivation of flowers for commercial purpose is called as a floriculture. So, dear students, these are the 1 marks question and answers in the lesson Indian Land Resources. Now, let's move on. The 2 marks or 3 marks question and answers. The second main, answer the following questions in 3 or 4 sentences each. Very important. Distinguish between the Kharif and Rabi crop season. What are the difference between Kharif and Rabi crop season? First, we are going to discuss Kharif crop season. In the Kharif crop season, we can see the crops grown during the rainy season. It is called as a Kharif crop season. Then, what are the main crops? We can see rice, jowar, ragi, cotton, groundnuts, tobacco, etc. are the main Kharif crop seasons. Then, let's move on Rabi crop season. In the Rabi crop season, we can see the meaning of Rabi crop season. The sowing takes place in October to November when the northeast monsoon begins and are harvested in February to March. This is known as Rabi season. For example, barley, gram, etc. So, these are the examples of Rabi crop seasons. Then, the second question, what are the conditions required for sugarcane cultivation? What are the conditions required for sugarcane cultivations? Answer, sugarcane is annual crop and it is grown in irrigated areas. Dear students, sugarcane is an annual crop and it is growing in irrigated areas. Then second point, it requires high temperature. The high temperature we can see 210 to 260 and heavy rainfall ranging from 100 to 150 centimeter per annum. Then last point, it thrives best in alluvial and loamy soils. So these are the conditions required for sugarcane cultivations. Then third question, mention the classification of land use. Answer, the classification of the land use are, one is net area zone, second one is forest area, third one is land not available for cultivation, and fourth one is fallow land. So these are the classification of land use. In the classification of the land use, we can see in India, the land use pattern can be classified into 7 categories. Understand? The first one is net area zone, second one is forest area, third one is land not available for cultivation, fourth one is fallow land, fifth one is cultivatable waste, then sixth one is permanent and other grazing land, and the last one is land under miscellaneous uses. So these are the classification of land use pattern. Okay. Then the fourth question, explain the importance of agriculture in India. Very, very important in your examination point of view. All of you note the points. Keep it in mind. What are the importance of agriculture in India? Or explain the importance of agriculture in India. Dear students, in the importance of agriculture in India, we can see nearly 65% of the people has fully depend on agriculture. The second point, the economic progress of the country depends on the progress of agriculture. Then third point, agriculture in India is the main source of livelihood. It is the backbone of our country. Understand? Then fourth point, it is the main source of food for the people. And further for domestic animals, it is a source of national income. Then fifth point, agriculture supports tertiary sectors like trade, transport, banking, insurance, etc. So these are the importance of agriculture in India. Then the fifth question, what are the conditions required for rice cultivation? What are the conditions required for the rice cultivation? Answer, the first condition required for the rice cultivation, we can see it is a primarily tropical crop. It is a primary tropical crop. It requires high temperature. The high temperature we can see 180 degree to 250 degrees Celsius and heavy annually rainfall of 100 to 200 centimeter per year. That is the conditions. Then second point, alluvial and clay loam soils are best suitable for this cultivation. Understand? Then third point, rice needs standing water and it needs level land. And the last point, irrigation is necessary wherever rainfall is less. So this is about the conditions required for rice cultivation. Then sixth question, what are the conditions required for wheat cultivation? What are the conditions required for wheat cultivations? Answer, the first point, in the conditions required for wheat cultivation, we can see it is a crop of temperate regions. Then second point, it required moderate temperature of 100 to 150 degrees Celsius and rainfall of 50 to 70 centimeters per year. Understand? Then third point, heavy looms and black soils are best suitable for wheat cultivation. So these are the conditions required for wheat cultivations. Then seventh question, what are the conditions required for tea cultivation? Answer, the conditions required for tea cultivations, we can see it is a tropical and subtropical crop. The tea cultivation, it is a tropical and subtropical crop and it requires a temperature of 210 to 300 centimeter and heavy rainfall we can see 150 to 250 centimeter in a year. Then third point, it grows best in deep and fertile soil rich in humus And the last point, it require hill slopes with an altitude of 1200 to 2400 meters above sea level. So these are the conditions required for tea cultivation. Then eighth question, what are the beverage crops and give examples? Answer, the crops which are used to produce stimulating drinks are called as beverage crops. For example, we can see coffee, tea are the most important examples of this. Then ninth question, explain the role of horticulture in India. What is the role of horticulture in India? Answer, the intensive cultivation of fruits, vegetables, flower, medicinal and aromatic plants are called as a horticulture. In India, horticulture provides an incentive for making agriculture more profitable through efficient land use, optimum utilization of natural resources, and generating skilled employment for the rural masses. So that is the role of horticulture in our country. Then it enhances export and provides nutritional security. So this is about the horticulture in our country. Then the 10th question, what are the conditions required for cotton cultivations? What are the conditions? The first one, in the conditions of the required for cotton cultivation, we can see cotton is a tropical and a subtropical crop. Then second point, it requires 200 to 240 degree temperature and rainfall of 50 to 100 centimeter in a year. Then black cotton soil is the best suited for this growth for the cotton cultivation. Understand? And it is grown as a kharif crop. So these are the conditions required for cotton cultivation. Dear students, these are the 1 marks and 2 marks question and answers in the lesson land resources, Indian land resources. And let's we move on the another important chapter in the history part 1, that is First War of Indian Independence 1857. The First War of Indian Independence 1857. In this lesson today we are going to discuss the most important question and answers in this lesson. Okay, let's start. The First War of Indian Independence lesson is very important in your examination point of view. This chapter is asked for 3 marks. Answer the following questions. What were the causes for 1857 revolt? What were the causes for the 1857 revolt? We can see political causes, economic causes, administrative causes, military causes, and immediate causes. So these are the causes for 1857 revolt. Then second question, what were the results of doctrine of lapse? Discuss. Very important. What were the results of doctrine of lapse? Discuss. In the doctrine of lapse, we can see many kings had to lose their kingdoms. Satara, Jhansi, Jaipur became the part of British Empire. Then the kingship of Tanjore and Carnatic Nawabs were abolished and many soldiers became unemployed. So these are the results of doctrine of lapse. Then third question, how did the economic policies resulted in the mutiny of 1857? Explain. How did the economic policies result in the mutiny of 1857? Answer. The economic policy result in the mutiny of 1857. One is Indian handicraft and industries diminished. Then second point, the Indian traders became unemployed. The Indian traders became unemployed. Then British levied heavy taxes on Indian goods. Then fourth point, the farmers were exploited by the zamindars and Inam lands are withdrawn by Inam Commission. The last point, British looted the Indian natural resources. So these are the economic policies resulted in the mutiny of 1857. Then let's move on. The fourth question in this lesson, what were the issues that outragged the religious feelings of the soldiers? Answer, the soldiers forced to oversee services. Then second point, they also forced to use the new Royal Enfield. The new Royal Enfield, it is gun. The new Royal Enfield guns, which the bullets were smeared with the fat of pig and cow. Then they also lost good status and salary and promotions in army. So these are the outragged the religious feelings of the soldiers. Then fifth question, what were the immediate causes for the first war of Indian independence? What were the immediate cause for the first war of Indian independence? Dear students, the immediate causes for the first war of Indian independence. A rumor spread among the soldiers that the bullets used in Royal Enfield guns were smeared with the fat of cow and pigs. These were sacred things for Muslims and Hindus. Because of these causes, for the first war of Indian independence was started. So these are the immediate cause for the first war of Indian independence. Then sixth question, list of the reasons that led to the failure to the mutiny. What are the reasons that led to the failure to the mutiny? One is the reasons for the failure of the mutiny in the year 1857. One is the revolt did not spread to the whole country. Then second point, there was lack of strategy, practice among soldiers. And third one is lack of discipline, arms among Indian soldiers. And fourth one is unity among British forces. And the fifth one is many Indian kings extended their loyalties to British. And the last one is lack of leadership. So these are the reasons that led to the failure of mutiny. Then seventh question, very important in your examination point of view. So explain the Queen's Declaration of 1858. Explain the Queen's Declaration of 1858. Answer, in the year 1858, the Queen of England made an announcement. This is known as Indian Magna Carta. It includes the agreements made by East India Company with the kings were accepted. Then second point, ambitious expansion plan had to be given up. Then third point, a stable government had to be provided to Indians. Then fourth point, there would be equality under law. Then fifth point, non-purchase of regional expansion. And the last one is non-interference in regional religious matters of Indians. So this is about the Queen Declaration of 1858, that is Magna Carta. Then let's move on. The next question in this lesson, that is, what are the effects of 1858 revolt? What are the main effects of this revolt? The first point, it put an end to administration of East India Company in India. Then second point, in the year 1858, Queen Victoria proclamations came into force. Then third point, this revolt gives new route to upcoming Indian freedom struggle. Then fourth point, the doctrine of lapse principles has been withdrawn by the Queen. Then fifth point, British decided to involve Indians in administration. Then last pointer, patriotism recharged the upcoming struggles. So these are the effects of 1858 revolt. So these are the 3 marks question and answers in the lesson, the War of Indian Independence. First War of Indian Independence in the year 1857. Okay, my dear students, in today's class, we have learnt the most important question and answers in the lesson, the First War of Indian Independence and Indian land resources. Okay, thank you.